We have some huge news for the New York Knicks, as it has been revealed that more moves are imminent for this team after reports of the Knicks being interested in multiple free agents that they did not hit on, and now with reports of them being interested in one more veteran, the position has now been revealed on top of this team's targets for who they want to bring on to this Knicks roster that's almost fully complete, and we're going to break all that down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here. If you're part of that percentage that's not subscribed to the channel, I don't know what you're doing. We got daily videos like this. We got the latest and greatest Knicks updates. You do not want to miss out on all the Knicks content that we got every single day for you. But let's jump into the video. There is a lot to go over on the Knicks as more moves are imminent for Leon Rose and the team. Look, I know I said this recently as well, but this team is not done making moves. And with everything going on right now, there is another move or moves coming to this team. Right now, the Knicks do have 12 players on the roster, and they are going to add more talent. It is a known fact for this team. And there have been multiple guys who have been linked to the Knicks already from multiple different reports from Knicks insiders. And diving into that, Ian Begley did say that the Knicks are hard capped at the second apron this season at $207,824,000. They are currently close to the second apron, but they should have enough money to sign a veteran free agent. I don't know if that's a specific focus for that final roster spot, but the Knicks have been in touch with multiple backup guards on the market. Dante Exum considered the Knicks as a possible destination before he agreed to a deal with Dallas on Wednesday. As noted earlier, the Knicks touched base with free agent Ben Simmons this week, so it seems like the Knicks are at least keeping an eye on the market for a backup guard. So with that in mind, Dante Exum was someone who the Knicks were interested before he signed in Dallas. And he put up last season 8.7 points, 1.7 rebounds, and 3 assists off the bench, shooting 43% from the field, 58% on threes, and 43% from that three-point range. Now, Exum was also a very solid defender for the Dallas Mavericks, and the Mavericks were pretty thin at guard because Kyrie Irving is out with the injury. Obviously, with Spencer Dinwiddie also leaving for the Charlotte Hornets as well, it does leave a bit of a hole there outside of D'Angelo Russell. So Exum will be in line for another big year with the Dallas Mavericks. And on top of that, just in regards to Ben Simmons, he put up 5 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists a game. He's still a very good defender, but there is a lot of concern about him. Look, I grew up a huge Ben Simmons fan, if I'm being honest, and I would have loved Leon to go grab Ben Simmons a few years ago, but at this point, I am very concerned about Ben Simmons as a player. Is he really going to have the right mindset to play in New York? Is he going to be able to handle it? Does he want to play on the East Coast again? When the entire time he was on the East Coast with the 76ers and with the Nets, he made it very clear that he wanted to be out in LA to begin with. On top of that, when you look at Ben Simmons, when you look at the type of situation that he wants to be in, he wants more than the veterans minimum. The Knicks don't have more of that to offer. And does anyone really think Ben Simmons played well enough to garner something that's not the veterans minimum for a year? He has to prove that he can, 1, stay healthy, and 2, be a positive impact player who's not going to get benched come the playoffs. Look, I see the upside with Ben Simmons, and if they sign him, I'm going to have that level of excitement of, all right, well, Ben Simmons once upon a time was supposed to be this great player. There's a chance that the Knicks, with Mike Brown and a fast-paced offense, Ben Simmons is a guy who's made for transition basketball. Maybe it'll work. The Knicks do have shooters that they can put around him. I don't love his fit with Josh Hart or Mitchell Robinson, specifically Josh Hart, but there's a world where it works. I just am afraid to start believing in him, even if it's for 15 minutes a night. Now, he also would be the 10th man on this team effectively, and with the way the Knicks are going right now, I don't think Ben Simmons wants to be a 10th man. I think he wants a bigger role with the team so he can kind of prove, like, hey, this is who I am. I'm great. This is my team. Or not really even this is my team anymore. He missed that chance with Brooklyn, but he could really make a statement of, hey, I'm still a great player. I belong somewhere I could have a good role effectively. Now, we haven't seen that happen yet with Ben Simmons for a while, but there is still that cautious optimism that you could have about Simmons in a general sense. Now, in regards to Dante Exum, as we know, because it was announced by Shams a couple days ago, Dante Exum did sign with the Mavericks again. We talked about that. And then we go and look at Landry Shamet, another guy who we should take interest in here because he put up 6 points per game, 2 assists, and also shot very well, 54% from 3 in the conference finals once he started getting minutes. Shamet is someone who I do want the Knicks to look at again, and I fully believe the Knicks will take a look at Landry Shamet in a general sense. Now, also looking at what Mark Stein said, In regards to Exum, the Mavericks did not want to lose him, and Dante Exum wanted to be there, and the Mavericks wanted him back. The Mavs want to start the season with D'Angelo Russell and Dante Exum, two proven veteran guards in the NBA level. Now, on top of that, Ian Begley mentioned that he's obviously not on their radar now, but the Knicks also did some backup work on DeAndre Ayton. Some decision makers viewed Ayton as a good fit next to Karl-Anthony Towns. Part of their background work included talking to the Trailblazers about Ayton. ESPN's Shams Charania reported that the Blazers gave good feedback on Ayton to teams that called on him, which runs contrary to recent reports painting Ayton in a negative light. The Knicks received similar positive feedback from Portland about Ayton's leadership with some of the younger Blazers. As Begley said, I assume if the Knicks paid Ayton and Towns, Mitchell Robinson would have been the club's backup center, and Ayton reportedly signed for a 2-year, $16.6 million deal with the Lakers. Ayton chose the Lakers over his other suitors because he viewed Los Angeles as the best basketball fit. Also, on top of that, the Lakers have a ton of minutes to give him. They did re-sign Jackson Hayes, but Jackson Hayes is not someone who's going to be playing a million minutes. And also, he had the chance to live in LA, which the only place better to live is New York. So, go figure. But, look, if they signed Ayton, things would have gotten very weird. Ayton in the playoffs has been good. Don't get me wrong, 16 points, 10.5 rebounds in his time with the Suns. But him next to Karl-Anthony Towns, I do not like that fit at all. I don't think it would have worked at all. I don't think Ayton's a good enough defender. It would have been great offensively, don't get me wrong. And he's a great rebounder, so the Knicks would add more good rebounding to this team. But bring in Yabusele, that'll help their rebounding as well. And also, if they do end up signing James Najee to that rookie contract, then also James Najee will have a huge impact on this team also. So that could also be something that we look at here. Definitely something if the Knicks do want to upgrade that rebounding, but I think they more were interested in Ayton because they're interested in adding good players to the roster. And yeah, Ayton has his concerns, but he's definitely still a talented player. But Mitchell Robinson does fit the Knicks better right now. He's an elite rim protector. On top of that, he is the best offensive rebounder in basketball. And I'm excited to see Mitchell Robinson start with the Knicks next season over Josh Hart. I think it's a great fit if they want to start Mitch. If they don't want to start Mitch, I would love to see Deuce McBride start. This is not anti-Josh Hart propaganda either. I just don't want to see that starting lineup from last year because it left us all with a bad taste in our mouths. Mitch played 20.6 minutes per game in the playoffs. He should have played more, averaging 7 rebounds, 4.7 points. Also pulling down 3.7 offensive rebounds. The man was an absolute monster. He shot 60.8% from the field as well. He was great. I love Mitchell Robinson. There was a lot of thought that he would be traded. At this point, it feels unlikely that Mitch is going to get traded off the Knicks. I don't expect him to because the Knicks didn't go out there and sign another big man. So they're not going to deplete him, which makes me happy, to say the least. But you look at Towns as well. In the playoffs, he was up and down, but against the Pacers, he was great. He put up 25 and 25 and 12 against the Pacers in the conference finals. But Towns throughout the playoffs averaged 21.4 points, 11.6 rebounds, and also shot 35% from 3. So he was still a solid player, don't get me wrong, and I do think the Knicks can move forward with Karl-Anthony Towns either as a power forward or a center and figure out a way for it to work now that they're an offensive team with Mike Brown being their head coach. Now, when we look at all these options here, we also see Malcolm Brogdon pop up. Malcolm Brogdon's a very interesting player for the Knicks to target with that final guard spot. Last season, he averaged 12.7 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, is a solid defender, shot 43% from the field, and only 28% from 3, which is definitely down, but he did shoot 40% on corner threes. Brogdon on a winning team is when he's at his best. He was good with Boston. He was good with Indiana. Brogdon's been solid. Obviously, he was good with Milwaukee when he won Rookie of the Year. I can't speak, and in all honesty, I did just wake up before recording this. But still, doesn't matter. I should not be mumbling their words. But look, here's the deal. I love Malcolm Brogdon. I think he'd be a great fit for this team. I think the Knicks should approach Malcolm Brogdon with interest and see what happens. I imagine Brogdon's getting interest elsewhere, but we haven't seen him sign yet, which I think is kind of weird considering he is a talented player that winning teams should be going after. Maybe he's gauging offers still and he's kind of deciding what he wants to do. Maybe he's just gauging interest and is just going to hold out for a bit and try to figure out what's the best fit for him. But the Knicks are an interesting fit for Malcolm Brogdon for sure, and I do like the idea of the fit. However, I also like the idea of Landry Shamet because Shamet's a lights-out shooter, and I really want the Knicks to have a lights-out shooter on their roster. I think it's important to have. Shamet's a quick trigger shooter. He's kind of that Dante DiVincenzo light, as I was calling him, discount Dante throughout the playoffs. That's kind of what he is, and I think he'd be the better fit for the Knicks. However, if you want to argue Brogdon, I find it pretty hard to argue against him because he is a great player as well, who is a combo guard, but the Knicks do have Deuce and Jordan Clarkson off the bench already. Shamet can be a smaller wing, so I think it makes more sense. But we'll see what happens, guys. Who do you want to see the Knicks sign? Who's the veteran guard you want to see the Knicks sign in free agency with that final spot that they're going to use on a veteran guard? Outside of that, they'll then sign a rookie, and I have a video coming out on that today or maybe tomorrow. We're going to see what happens. Guys, happy 4th of July. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Knicks.